Hello friends. Hello friends. How are you? Are you okay? You have to be okay. Welcome in my YouTube channel English for All. Today we are going to see one of the very important poem from 10th standard unit number 1.3 Basketful of Moonlight, written by Sunil Sharma. Through this poem, the poet Sunil Sharma tries to bring forth the conditions, the pathetic conditions, or the problems, the difficulties faced by the villagers, the undeveloped part of our country, that is village, and also tries to differentiate between the city and the village through this poem, the lifestyle, the problems, the difficulties faced by the villagers while going to the village and coming back from city to village and village to city, vice versa. At the same time, the poet focuses on the relationship between father and child. Let us first of all read the poem Basketful of Moonlight. Basketful of Moonlight. O moon, give me moonlight, basketful or two baskets full with seeds of moonlight. From the city to my village, on the sides of the path, I want to sow many small, small moons of light. The whole village goes to the city daily to work. It becomes dark on its way back as my village is quite far. The route is tough and full of snakes and scorpions. Neither bus nor cart plies. When my father returns home, I am asleep, and he goes back early in the morning while I am sleeping. O moon, give me a basket full of moonlight on loan. I want to light the dark route so that my father returns early. I too want to hear fairy tales and the stories from him. O moon, give me a basket full of moonlight. I want to sow seeds of moon on the sides of the path. Now, we will see the meaning of each stanza. O moon, give me moonlight, basketful or two baskets full with seeds of moonlight. This poem begins with a figure of speech called apostrophe, where the line is directly addressed to the moon, and the poet, as a speaker, as a child, requests to the moon to give me moonlight. कवी या ठिकाणी मूनला प्रार्थना करतो आहे, विनंती करतो आहे, गिव मी मूनलाइट, मला चंद्रा तुझा प्रकाश दे. किती दे? A basket full or two baskets full with the seeds of moonlight. Give me a basket or two baskets fully filled with the seeds of moonlight. The poet, the small child, requests to the god moon give me a basket or two baskets fully filled with the seeds of moonlight. From the village city to my village, on the sides of the path. He requests to the God, give me the baskets full of seeds of moonlight. And after getting that baskets, two baskets or one basket full of seeds of the moonlight, what the boy is going to do? What does he want to do with that seeds of moonlight? In the next stanza, he says, why I need the seeds of moonlight. The boy says, I want, that child says, we can't say boy, but we can say child says, I want to sow many small moons of light. So why does he need? Why does that child need the moonlight? He wants to sow the moons, small moons or seeds of moonlight on the sides of the path. That path leads to the villagers, from village to the city, and brings them back from city to village. I want to sow many small moons of light. The whole village goes to the city daily to work. The child says, my whole village means the people daily who goes for working in the city. It is called a whole village. My whole village, entire village goes to the city. Why? For the work. For the work, whole village goes, and after completing their work, when their work ends, finish, they come back. Village people come back to their village, and when they return, it gets dark. The sun sets. It gets dark. It becomes dark on its way back, as my village is quite far, and the village and the city is not very close to each other. The village and city are remote. The distance is very big between village and the city. So when they come back from city to the village, to their home, to their village, it gets dark because it is quite far, it is remote. And why he also says, why does that child need the seeds? Because second reason is that the route of the village to the city is tough. It's not the road that we today use. Today's all the roads are tar road, very in good conditioned road, but the route, the path that leads to the villagers to the city and brings back to the village is a tough road, is very rough road, is very difficult road to walk. And the road is described, the road is not only tough, but it is full of snakes and scorpions, which are the poisonous animals or poisonous reptiles, we can say. As there is no light on the sides of the path, the villagers have the danger from these poisonous animals like snakes and scorpions. So he says, give me the seeds of moonlight so that I can sow on the sides of the path. It will lighten the road path, and my villagers will come very without any trouble to the village, to their home. The road is tough and full of snakes and scorpions. Neither bus or cart plies. When my father returns home, I am asleep. On the way to the village and city, there is no bus. There is no cart. Cart means a vehicle that is used to travel, that has been dragged by using the bullocks or the horses. घोडा गाडी किंवा बैलगाडी. There is no cart, no bus, no mode of traveling is available there. No mode of traveling is available there. Means of traveling is not available there. Mode of transport is not available there. And the road is very in bad condition, full of holes and stones and rocks and bushes and animals, harmful animals. So please give me the moonlight, seeds of moonlight, so I can sow. So म्हणजे पेरणे, SOW, so म्हणजे पेरणे, on the sides of the path. Neither bus nor cart plies. When my father returns home, see how the child cares, how much the child cares for his father, how much child loves his father. That what he says, that child says, when my father returns home, I am asleep. My father gets late to come to home. As the road is tough and full of snakes and scorpions, he has to be very careful. He has to take each and every step carefully. He has to save himself from the snakes and scorpions, and because of that my father gets late to home. And what happens when my father comes home? माझे वडील जेव्हा घरी येतात तेव्हा काय झालेलं असतं? I am not awake. I am asleep. I am asleep before my father comes home. And what happens next? Stanza, what does he say? And he goes back early in the morning while I am sleeping. So the father and child doesn't meet each other. When father comes home, the child is slept. When father goes, the child is in sleep. So there is no meeting between father and child. So the child says to the moon, requests to the moon, prays to the moon, please give me the seeds of moonlight so I can sow them on the sides of the paths, that taking my villagers, my father, to the city and bringing him back from city to village. And he goes back early in the morning while I am sleeping. Oh moon, give me as a basket full of moonlight on loan. See, the boy is very sensible boy. He is very wise child. He doesn't demand or ask for the moonlight as a free of cost. He says to the moon, give me the moonlight on loan. उसनं द्या, कर्ज द्या म्हणून सांगतो आहे. Being a very small child, see how clever, how wise, how much sensible the child is. He says, when these seeds of moonlight which I will sow on the path, sides of the path, those seeds will come up, will be grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Then I will return those seeds that I brought from you. I will return, I will repay for your help. So please give me the moonlight on loan. I want to light the dark route. See here in this line, I want to light the dark route. There is a one of the figure of speech. Do you get it? What figure of speech is that? See listen the line carefully. I want to light the dark route. Here two opposite words are used in single line. When two opposite words are used or two opposite ideas are conveyed, ideas are said or told in one single line, that figure of speech is called a antithesis. That figure of speech is called a antithesis. So here light and dark are the opposite word of each other used in single line. So this figure of speech is antithesis. I want to light the dark route so that my father returns early. When I will light the path with the seeds of moonlight, there will be light on the sides of the path. So my father will come very early to my home, and then what will happen? The child will be happy, and one more thing will be happier for the child. Let us see. I want to light the dark route so that my father returns early. I too want to hear fairy tales and stories from him. You know that small children love to listen the bedtime stories from the parents or grandparents. And this child also desires wishes. Here is one of the wish of the child is given here, that he wants to listen the bedtime stories, fairy tales, like other children listen from their parents or from their father. So he says, I too want to hear fairy tales. I too want. मला सुद्धा ऐकायचे आहेत. Means इतर मुलं सुद्धा ऐकत आहेत. So I too want to hear fairy tales and stories from him, means my father. Oh moon, give me a basket full of moonlight. I want to sow seeds of moon on the sides of the path. So he again requests to the moon, again and again he requests to the moon to give me a seed of a basket of moonlight, or two baskets full of moonlight seeds, so that I can sow on both the sides of the path, and my father will come earlier. I will be happy because I will get the chance to listen the fairy tales, bedtime stories from my father. And he says, don't give me the moonlight seeds as a free, give me it on a loan. So this is what is the meaning of the poem. Now we will see some of the important figure of speech used in this poem. Then I will tell you the some central idea of the poem, and we will have a break. Oh moon, give me moonlight, basket full or two baskets full with seeds of moonlight. In this design, the poet Sunil Sharma has used the typical figure of speech called apostrophe, as I told you at the beginning of the poem. Oh moon means here the child directly speaks to the moon, which is not present here. So in this line there is apostrophe figure of speech. Then see in the next stanza, I want to show many small moons of light. I want to show many small moons of light. Here is also one of the figure of speech, and that is repetition. That is repetition. That the word small is repeated here. The word small is repeated. So the figure of speech is a repetition. Then I told you that the root is tough and full of snakes and scorpions. Here is one of the my favorite figure of speech, alliteration. Alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of the speech sound at the beginning of the word. Repetition of the same speech sound at the beginning of the word. In this line, the root is tough and full of snakes and scorpions. The sound s is repeated. So here is the figure of speech, alliteration. Then in the last stanza, again there is one of the example of alliteration. O moon, give me a basket full of moonlight on a lawn. Here again the sound mo is repeated. Moon, moonlight, may sound is repeated. So it is also alliteration. The feature of this poem. The poem is full of images, different images. Image of the village life, image of the city life, image of the road, image of the road. That is, the poem is full of images. Again, in the last line, I want to sow seeds of moon on the sides of the path. Here you do have also alliteration. Here you do have also alliteration. And one of the figure of speech I introduced you, told you while dealing with the poem, that antithesis, and the example that of that antithesis is, I want to light the dark root. Light and dark, opposite ideas are conveyed or said or told in the same line or in the consecutive lines. Then that figure of speech is called a antithesis. Okay, we have seen some of the figures of speech through this poem. Now the central idea, which is very important for you. The central idea of the poem is the poet tries to tell us the difficulties faced by the village people or the villagers. The poem also focuses on the child's worry or anxiety about his father. The poem also focuses that the village life is undeveloped life, full of difficulties rather than the city life. Then the rhyme scheme of the poem. If we observe this poem carefully, then we come to know that the number of lines used in this poem in each stanza are not same. Again, the number of words in each line are also not same. There is no rhyming words we find at the end of each line. So this poem is a free verse type poem. This poem has no rhyme scheme. It is a free verse poem. Thank you.